Hi guys, and today I wanted to talk about my top 10 players in the 2020 NBA draft as of right now, which is Friday, April 29th, 5:26 p.m. Okay, Central Time out here in Lawrence, Kansas. And I think it's time to talk about it. Thank you for the support in the last mock draft. Go Pip. I'll have another mock draft. Maybe we'll start doing them once a week if you guys want that. But let's get right into today's video. I want to hear right now in the comments, before we start today's video, who are your top 10 players in this year's NBA draft? I'd love to hear them. And let's get right into it and let's rank them. 1 through 10, who are the best players in my opinion? Like and subscribe. Let's get right into it. At number 1, I am putting Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith, guys, this man is just something else. All right, Jabari Smith has been phenomenal, and he was a guy that a lot of people have started to really like. And I think Jabari Smith, even though they didn't go too far in the NCAA tournament, he still put up stats for the Auburn. What aren't they Tigers? Yeah, the Auburn Tigers. In 34 games, this man had, a productive year. And the best part about it is he was just a freshman, shooting 42% from three, 43% from the field, 17 points, 7.5 rebounds, a block and a steal. Number one guy. And I've said it, his floor is like a more athletic and versatile Rashard Lewis. Okay, he's a forward. And his ceiling is to be an in-between guy between Michael Porter Jr. and Kevin Durant, who's more thicker. Like, I very much think he has a very similar body to, Rashard Lewis. And maybe that's just because I'm a Magic's fan. So I digress. At number 2, I'm sorry, I got to go Banchero. And I know a lot of people are going to be causing a fit. They're like, why would you put Paolo Banchero? Dude, this guy, through the NCAA tournament, he just showed up. His ball handling skill this is a guy who can either play the center position or, the power forward position. I'd rather have him in power forward position. He's also born the day after me. I'm November 11th. He's November 12th. 3 years, obviously. I'm 99. He's 2002. Damn, I'm old. But this guy's 6'10", 250 pounds, a power forward who can play center. And he had 17.5 points, almost 8 rebounds, and dropped 3.5 dimes. Okay, shot 48% from the floor. He's a guy who can score mid-range, pull-ups, fadeaways, post-ups, lobs. And I think his floor is, he has a very high floor, which is just being an all-around solid power forward. Probably his floor is probably being a poor man's, not even a poor man's Blake Griffin, like a Blake Griffin light, who maybe not as, like, if you remember young Blake Griffin, he was like a lob threat. But I've seen comparisons of Chris Webber, Julius Randle, Blake Griffin. He's just a bully and with who can dish out the ball and go two-way. If you get that three-point shot down, he's good. At 3, we have Chet Holmgren. As a Magic fan, I just have Mo Bamba PTSD. He's very skinny. He has narrow shoulders. Yes, he's an elite rim protector. He can stretch the floor, but he's more of, like, he's 7 foot with a 7'5" wingspan. His frame, he's not going to be able to get up to 273. Not obviously you don't want to have 300 pounds, but you want him to be 250, 270. He's not going to get there. So he's going to get the Joel Embiid's, the DeAndre Aidens, the Rudy Gobert's are going to push him around. And I'm not saying he's going to be Andre Barjani or Dragonbender or something like that. Or Poku. Poku's, we don't know. Jury's still out on Poku. But I just think Chet Holmgren has a lot of risk. At 3, that's who we have, Chet Holmgren. So the top 3, 1, Jabari, 2, Paolo Banchero, 3, Chet Holmgren. Forward June, Jaden Ivey. The guy that everyone's like, he's John Morant 2.0. And the thing is, Jaden Ivey's a shooting guard. John Morant's a point guard. Let's get that first out. Jaden Ivey, yes, he's athletic as all hell, but he's not as nearly at the same level as facilitator or, playmaker, passer that John Morant was in college and stuff. And I think he can be a good player, and the athleticism and all that is there. But, you have to understand that he's more of a shooting guard than John Morant is. John Morant's, a point guard. Jaden Ivey, if I have to, myself say he's more of a shooting guard. He's a 6'4" shooting guard, okay? And he's fantastic. Very fun to watch. And he's a good player. He's going to have a great NBA career. And he's a guy who has really good recovery skills. And his defense is okay. It's nothing insane. But I think, when you look at him, I think his defense can get improved, and I think he can be, defensively a poor man's Victor Oladipo, which is still very good, prime Victor Oladipo, and his shot creation is good. What people don't realize is that he's more of a secondary playmaker, and, he's more of an, I would never have the primary. So that's at 4. At 5, we have Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon Sharpe, 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan. And he's got great explosiveness. He looks like a guy who could be the light version of Anthony Edwards with a better, ball handling and facilitating. I think he's better at creating plays for his teammates, and he's better at putting the ball on the ground than Anthony Edwards was coming out of college. But I think he can be, a similar two-way player as Anthony Edwards, especially defensively. And that's why I have him at number 4. Well, at number 5, my apology. At 5, we have Shaedon Sharpe. At 4, we have Jaden Ivey. At 3, Chet Holmgren. 2, Paolo Banchero. At 1, we have Jabari Smith. And then this is where it gets interesting. At 6, I have AJ Griffin. I just love that 6'11" wingspan and the 6'6" height. And the thing is, he shoots Steph Curry deep threes. This man is basically the longer, more athletic, versatile, better defensive Klay Thompson. AJ Griffin is Klay Thompson if he was on steroids. He's longer, basically the same height, more athletic, and can shoot just as well, just as deep, and he can guard 1 through 4. And I think AJ Griffin is one of the safest picks in the class. He'll become an all-star, maybe an all-NBA player. I really think his floor is at least being a starting level player, similar player, like a better defensive, Desmond Bane, okay? And AJ Griffin's fantastic. Next I have Keegan Murray, and Keegan Murray, look, he's answered every question. He's 38% from 3. He's a terrific rebounder. He makes great weak side defensive rotation, and around the rim, he's a presence as a shot blocker. And look, he's not the world's most creative passers, but he's elite in the terms of basketball IQ and decision making. And I honestly think AJ Griffin is 6, 7 is Keegan Murray, and I have to put it there. He's just a beast. Yes, I know he's 21, 6'8" with a 6'11" wingspan. He's the most NBA ready. Like how Chris Duarte was heralded as plug and play day one for any team, even like a contending team. This is Keegan Murray. You could see a championship or a contending team that needs a power forward trade up in the draft into the lottery to draft Keegan Murray and that's why in my mock I think Portland Trailblazers taking Keegan Murray, because if they keep Damian Lillard, Keegan Murray can be their starting power forward. If they move on from Damian Lillard, Keegan Murray can still be their power forward. Murray at 7, AJ Griffin at 6. Girlfriend couldn't find her jewels, so she was blowing up my phone. But Jalen Duren will be the first center off the board, the man from Memphis, 7'5" wingspan, 6'10", 18 years old on draft day. And look, he's a guy, arguably could be a forward in the NBA if they wanted, but I think he's more of the prototypical center that you'd like in today's game. And if you just look at him, look, man, this is why he's the best center in the draft, in my opinion. He's a rim runner, going to be an elite shot blocker. And when you look at him, okay, you remember Nick Claxton in the playoffs, how he kind of thrived because him and Kevin Durant could switch. I think Jalen Duren has that ability. His floor is being a way better Nick Claxton, but I think Jalen Duren could become a very similar player to Bam Adebayo. Very similar player to Bam Adebayo in the sense, play style, they might be different, but in the sense, Bam Adebayo is so good defensively because he can step out on the perimeter and guard 1 through 5. I think very similarly that Jalen Duren can do the same thing, and if he gets that jump shot down, he's going to be lethal. Two-way guy, catches lobs, pulls up, he's going to block everything, he can guard any, basically right now 3 through 5. He can't guard guards yet, but he can probably step out on a few of them, and he won't get beat. He's probably one of, if not, will be the most athletic center in the league when he comes in. At 9, I have Johnny Davis. This man, Johnny Davis, he is a scorer. He's a guy who's going to come in and can be a team's 6th man on day one. And I think I think Johnny Davis is a guy who, when you look at him, he's just going to be such a good scorer. And I think what's so good about him is his ability to just create his own shot. And a guy averaging almost 20 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. I know he's not the best playmaker, but I think he's definitely a guy worked his way up from a 3-star to one of the best college basketball players. And for some reason, people have compared him to Jalen Suggs. I don't see it, but he's a great rebounder. He's defensively versatile, toughness, and he's a guy who can also be a day one starter for a team. And that's why he's the 9th prospect. And then at 10, I have Dyson Daniels. He's literally massive. He's 6'8" supposedly now, or 6'7". He's grown, and he has a massive wingspan, I think over 6'10". And he's a guy who played in the G League Elite, the Australian guy, and he's better than Jaden Hardy, Marjon Beauchamp, and Michael Foster. And he just completely looked comfortable and just was so professional. A number of scouts have said that Daniels was the best player of that group. He literally wasn't trying to read too much. He just defends at a high level. He can run the point guard. He can be a shooting guard. He can be a small forward. He's a 2-foot jump stop floater that looks amazing. And he's got a bunch of weapons like in his offensive arsenal, and he finishes well around the rim. He's showing like huge strides in his jumper, and he's clearly looking like a guy who can play the 1, the 2, or the 3. Definitely a lottery pick. He's a guy who can guard 1 through 3. He's a secondary playmaker. He looks like a guy who could be a scorer, and I think he's good. So at 1, I have Jabari Smith out of Auburn. At 2, I have Paolo Banchero out of Duke. 3, Chet Holmgren. 4, I have, my man Jaden Ivey out of Purdue. 5, Shaedon Sharpe. And then we go to 6, AJ Griffin. 7, Keegan Murray. AJ Griffin out of Duke. Keegan Murray out of Iowa. Jalen Duren out of Memphis. Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin at 9. Jalen Duren is 8 out of Memphis. John Davis, 9 out of Wisconsin, and 10, Dyson Daniels out of the G League Elite. Let me hear your thoughts down below.